of all the videos I've made on a Wednesday that I call WTF Wednesday, this is the biggest what the F point that I think I've ever made. And a lot of you will get this, and so you'll appreciate this. And those of you who haven't really thought about it, maybe it'll switch something on in your head. So bear with me. What the F are we doing as a society? Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little story about the supermarket, because I was in the supermarket yesterday and I should mind my own business. Well, I do mind my own business, but I look and I think and I see things around me. So let's do this we'll do it as a mind experiment. There were two people ahead of me in the line waiting to pay, okay, each one with their own cart. Two women. Mostly it's women in the supermarket because men are lazy and they don't go shopping. The first one had in her trolley white bread, Coke, full sugared Coke, a bag of cookies, some candies, a cake, a container of sweetened yogurt, hot dog sausages, no veggies, and a big bag of white sugar. Okay, so sugar, carbs, highly processed, no whole foods, very sweetened drinks. And what do you think she looked like? Very, very unhealthy and sick. Obese, morbidly obese, bad color, looked exhausted. I'm guessing she's got diabetes because that's what it looks like. If not, then it must be close, and she's probably on meds for heart issues and all sorts of stuff. And her trolley is an absolute disaster. That load of groceries in that trolley tells you either she just doesn't care, fine, free world, or she's not educated enough to even understand that type of, that those, I don't want to call them foods, that consuming stuff like that is really bad for you and going to kill you. She just doesn't know that, although I do think you have to be living under a rock by now to not understand that a diet of sugar and candies and Coke is not good for you, maybe. Or she does know and she does care, but she's desperate. She's so addicted that she doesn't know how to break the cycle and get off it. Her level of self-loathing is such that she can't bring herself to break out of that cycle. Her hormones are all messed up by that dreadful diet. So her dopamine levels are low, so she has no motivation and she has nobody to turn to. So she's either desperate, ignorant, or doesn't care. So that is a real problem, and that is a person with a problem one way or another. The second trolley, okay, I'm just looking down here because I did make a note of what was in it. So listen to this now. Not white bread, whole wheat bread. Skimmed milk, so low fat milk. Margarine, not butter, so no saturated fat in the margarine. Oranges, but I mean a huge sack of oranges, which, I mean, anybody who buys that many oranges must be making orange juice with them, because you're not going to eat that many oranges. A bag of potatoes, various boxes of breakfast cereals, everything plant-based, no meat, no butter. So very, very different from the first trolley. In addition, she was wearing what looked like gym leggings and running shoes, and had a bit of colour and a bit of a tan on her face. So she obviously goes out walking, or maybe even jogging. I don't know, maybe she goes to the gym, but she was dressed for some kind of physical activity. What do you think she looked like? Pause the video and write in the bottom here what you think the second person looked like with that trolley load of whole wheat bread, skim milk, margarine, oranges, potatoes, breakfast cereals, no meat, no fat, and wearing running shoes. Okay, this may come as a shock to you, or it may not, depending on where you are in your journey. She was obese. She was not quite as obese as the first lady, but she was very overweight and looked to me like she is also heading for type 2 diabetes in time. Again, if she's not already halfway there, she's definitely insulin resistant. But that trolley tells me that she is trying. She's wearing running shoes. She's trying. She's cutting out fat. She's trying. She's eating breakfast cereals and whole wheat bread and whole foods like potatoes and oranges. She is trying, and she's doing all those things that society and that the food pyramid and that the doctors are telling her to do, and get out and get some exercise, and yet she's as fat as you like. She's not getting healthy. And that's because the advice is all wrong. She's cutting out the very things that she should be eating, and she's loading up on the things she should not be eating. So let's go through her trolley again. Whole wheat bread. Well, that's bullshit. That's just bread, okay? There's no such thing as whole wheat bread, because you can't bake bread unless you crush and process the wheat. That's idiotic. So what they do is they bake bread with crushed processed wheat, just like any other bread, and then they sprinkle some whole wheat back into the mix before they bake it, and you can see the little bits of whole wheat, but the rest of it is processed. Okay, so bread is sugar, it's carbohydrate, that's it. Skimmed milk. She's trying to lose weight by cutting the fat out of her milk, and all she's doing is she's increasing the sugar portion of the milk. The non-fat portion of the milk is where all the sugar is, so now she's having more of that. All the lactose is in there. It's sugar water once you take the cream off. So that's a mistake. Margarine instead of butter, because she mistakenly believes that saturated fat is going to give her heart disease, which has unequivocally been proven to be completely wrong. And even the American Heart Association will admit that it's wrong. And the American College of Cardiology has issued guidelines to heart surgeons the world over to stop telling people to avoid saturated fat. And yet doctors are still telling us to avoid saturated fat. So instead of butter, she has margarine, which is a highly, highly processed artificial form of seed oil, which, quite apart from anything else, is carcinogenic. So that's dreadful stuff. A huge pocket of oranges, which you are going to squeeze into juice. So an orange, which is a pack of sugar, 40 to 50 grams of sugar in one orange, but at least when you eat the orange, you eat the fiber. The fiber blocks your absorption, which isn't great because it blocks your absorption of everything, but at least you absorb less sugar. Now you're going to squeeze that orange into juice and throw the fiber away, but you're going to squeeze about 12 before your glass is full. That is a lot of sugar. So that's a bad idea. Potatoes, glucose. A potato is the sugar storage organ of the potato plant. So we're going to rip the plant out, take that potato from under the ground where the plant stores all its sugar, and we're going to eat that. Oh, it's a whole food. Well, yeah, but it's not something we should be eating. Breakfast cereals. Sugar, 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 carbohydrates. First thing in the morning, give yourself a sugar blowout so that your hormones stop working properly and you get hungry every couple of hours, so you then continue to snack and eat the rest of the day. No meat, no butter, so very little protein, very few of the essential amino acids. It's a carbohydrate-based diet to just keep her going with energy, but she's undernourished and she can't burn her body fat because all that sugar is keeping her insulin high. She thinks she's on a healthy diet, and she's really trying. She might not even be enjoying that diet, but doing it out of duty and dedication, and absolutely believes it's going to make her healthy and make her slim and make her fit, and trying to get some exercise. But she's so fat she can't do it properly, and she's not going to lose that weight. So this is my WTF moment for this week. It's not the first woman who is eating the most dreadful shopping cart full of junk that you could possibly even make up, and either is ignorant or is just desperate and addicted or doesn't care. Okay, that is a low level what the F, but hey, we've all got our problems. But The second woman, I felt so bad. I so wanted to say, hey, you know what? I see you are dressed for sport. I see you are shopping in a way that you think is going to be healthy and really good for you. Please, can we have a talk about this? And I would love to help you, and I won't even charge you. And even though this is what I do for a living, I would just love to be able to help her and change her diet. But I can't do that. I can't go around grabbing people in the supermarket and asking them about their trolleys and telling them that they have to go against all the doctors and dietitians and food companies and marketing and pharmaceutical companies. I can't do that. So WTF that we've got all these people, and there are millions of people like her, trying desperately to get themselves healthy again, to get off the medication, to get their weight down, to become active, to feel good, to feel mentally good and motivated and have a longer life. And the science is there. We have the information and we know how to do it, but we are not being told. This information is not getting shared the way it should. And the authorities, by which I mean the medical companies, the drug companies, the food companies, and by extension, the governments, because governments are sponsored by corporates, are just making money out of us, keeping us addicted to the wrong food that they can produce with a lower cost margin, so it's more profitable, and killing. People are just dying. They're just dying too early because they are sick. Ooh, wow, that's it. That was my point. And this is not a WTF for this Wednesday. This is a WTF forever. This is the whole point of being healthy, eating correctly, and looking after yourself. This is, and if you're on page with this, because this is what you're doing, understand that the best you can do is look after yourself. Because you can't help people until they're ready to be helped. So if you help yourself and you become an example to everybody around you, eventually people start asking you, like, how did you get so healthy? How do you stay so healthy? How do you manage to keep your weight down, even though you're getting older, And then you can start the conversation. That little anecdote in the supermarket tells you everything you need to know. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got about 400 videos so far, plenty more to come on nutrition and sickness and how you can manage your health with proper nutrition and proper lifestyle choices without having to spend lots of money on drugs and medical procedures. Please join us for this journey. It's amazingly liberating once you do start taking control of your own health and you realize the benefits of a proper diet.